Back and forth for quite some time.
Yeah.
But Ohio State comes out on top. It is either championship or bust with this $20 million roster.
Man, what a football game.
Incredible.
First of all, Ohio State, the way that they started this game, let's go back even to Texas.
Yeah.
We start the game, first quarter, 4th and 3 situation. Sarkisian decides to go for it. They don't get that conversion. They run a play that's basically designed for man. They get zone. Very telling early on in the football game, too. Both teams really relied heavily on zone. Why are we going for it, though, on 4th and 3 early on in the football game?
Yep.
Try to set the tone.
Try to set the tone.
Yeah.
I get it. So much game to be played, and really for all of us, can't win the game in the first quarter.
You can't. You might lose it, though.
You could lose it. You could hurt your team in that
Yeah.
situation. Turnover on downs. Ohio State capitalizes on it.
Yep.
It's a big momentum for them. Now, going forward, they survive those moments. Man, barely missed the opportunity with Bolden dropping the return. The bounce back to him. I mean, that was a huge opportunity that they survived in that one. Then Quinn Ewers, sack fumble. They recovered that one. So there's 2 plays there early on in the football game where Texas potentially turns the football over. The ball bounces favorably on their way. The one to Bolden was absolutely ridiculous on the return. I mean, stripped out of his hand, the ball bounces, and he still catches on the run. Absolutely ridiculous. So you survive those things. You're in the game, right? Only down a score. You finally put a drive together to go down and tie the football game. Quinn Ewers' run, Arch's conversion there on 4th down, fantastic. Jaden Blue out of the backfield. Me and Scooby, we were yelling at the TV screen a week ago against Arizona State.
Yeah.
Why isn't Jaden Blue playing? They got him involved in the play more in this game more often, which was fantastic, especially at the backfield as a catcher. And then, of course, the biggest play, I think, of the game was that screen pass, right before half. There's 30 seconds left in the half. Texas decides to run like a fire zone Tampa 2 cover where they're playing really soft and off. We talked about this just as an overall thought process, right, for teams. In 2-minute situations, easy completion to start it, whether it's a simple run or a simple pass. Typically a screen pass in those 2-minute situations before half or at the end of football games. Ohio State picks the screen to Travion Henderson. They block it perfectly. Texas is playing so soft. They got the cavalry leading out in front. And that really, I think, was a huge blow to Texas. Although they were able to fight back later in the second half, those are, I think, some of the few key plays where just Texas, you kind of let Ohio State off the hook in that one. I know I rambled for a long time there. I apologize, guys.
Well, you started it, and you started it at the first quarter. Let's take it down to the fourth because Texas had a chance to tie this game up late in that fourth quarter.
That's right.
They got down in the low red zone. I think they had 5 or 6 plays thanks to a pass interference call or a couple pass interference calls that got them down to the 1-yard line. They just were not able to convert. Here is kind of a compilation of some of these plays here.
Oh, man, that's the thing, Sam, that we've talked about this since last season.
Caleb Downs. Ransom.
Great play by Caleb Downs.
Unbelievable.
He got stiff-armed on this play, but he sniffed out the play and went for it. And I will say, I don't know why we're going for a toss on 3rd and short, but here we are. This is Texas trying to save their season in the red zone. What happened last year when they were trying to save their season in the red zone against Washington? Incomplete pass. Quinn Ewers having pressure in his face. You're going against the #1 red zone defense in the entire country in Ohio State.
No doubt.
How you decide your plays are going to be very critical in these situations. And when it is goal to go, Ohio State is one of the best teams in the country at that. But it just so happens that when it comes down to scoring touchdown in the red zone, they're not one of the best teams in the country. And that is where they struggled. It showed itself in this game. And as we take a look at a little bit of the social media here, check out the emotion that Will Howard had with Jack Sawyer. Y'all remember Jack Sawyer when Michigan tried to plant their flag on their logo?
Yeah.
How he was going crazy. He had an assistant coach, had his shirt grabbed up, yelling at him.
This is true right here.
We have some pride. That's what I'm talking about,
He
man.
became a legend tonight.
He did.
Sawyer, they might as well put a damn statue outside the horseshoe with
Top
that play
10
that he
chain.
made.
Shout out my boy Jerron right there.
But I know
Top 10,
the
man.
one point I want to make, too, to add to what Scooby's saying, and something that to me is very corny, and I know people at home be like, really? But, like, when Ohio State needed to get in the end zone, what did they do on the goal line? They got under center. They lined up and they said,
buddy.
hey, we're running the football right here. And they pushed them into the end zone for hard-earned runs. Texas, they lined up. Jared Gibson, they said, hey, we're going to push it in there. Ohio State, not so fast. This is what we do. We stop people on the goal line. Then they go back to their little RPO game where they're faking inside zone, trying to throw quick slants, all that kind of stuff. The toss. I mean, how many times have we seen this year in college football where the outside toss play in low red zones always gets stopped by good defenses that pursue and play good defense and capture the edge consistently?
Ohio State got
look at that.
Look at that. Toss on
There's 4 bodies behind the line of scrimmage. This toss right here, Caleb Downs running through that gap, Ransom right there. But it didn't matter. The cavalry was there too, the rest of the defense. And I think big picture, that's what I saw. Now, this play, they try to run a double move up the middle there. They're trying to hit the, I'm thinking about the strip sack on the next one. They try to run a little double move against a too-high safety look. It doesn't work out. And we saw it in the third and fourth quarter. Quinn Ewers did a great job. They weren't running the football effectively, but they were doing a good job of hitting checkdowns, keeping Ohio State's defensive line on the field, wearing them out. But the key thing was, though, in critical down and down situations, they couldn't get the push they needed to just get in the end zone, to get those short yardage.
Texas didn't have a whole lot of trouble moving the ball in that fourth quarter late after Ohio State scored. They got it down there in the red zone. But like you said, Scoob, this has been an issue for Sark in Texas from last year into this year. Finesse in being effective in the red zone. They rank 52nd in the country in touchdown red zone percentage.
Right.
Which is that good?
Which is not good. No, that is not good. And they also generally don't settle for field goals, because we saw a different field goal kicker in the game today than we saw in the game prior. But I do want to go back to Ohio State really quick and talk about Will Howard and his progression throughout the season, the addition of Chip Kelly, and calling plays.
Right.
We saw the last 2 games in this playoff. It has been Jeremiah Smith. It's been his show. He was ineffective today. PK, the defensive coordinator for Texas, did an excellent job containing Jeremiah Smith, and in many ways took a page out of Bill Belichick's book of just taking out your best player and making you beat us with your other players. Problem is, Ohio State's got a lot of other players that they can beat you with today.
No doubt, no doubt. And honestly, I think when they watch the film back again, there's going to be more opportunities where Jeremiah Smith was open and Will Howard just didn't pull the trigger, right? And I really think, and I believe that, when they go back and watch the film, they're going to say, we could have gotten the football to our superstar a handful of more times. The one issue is that Will Howard definitely got zeroed in on his guy on his interception to Benda.
Sure.
They did a heavy play action 2-man route. Jeremiah Smith is trying to run a deep hook route, but he forced that throw. And I think from there, it kind of spooked him maybe to think, all right, I can't just look at my guy. But in these situations right here, he is open. He has space around him. He is going to catch and get some extra yards after those. So Ohio State, the great sign is you got a superstar. You didn't get him the football consistently. A few missed opportunities. Doesn't matter. You still got enough Johnnies and Joes to get it done. And overall, I think the physicality and the mentality of this football team, that's the one weakness we said about Texas all year. When people punch them in the mouth, they sometimes have a hard time countering that, and that seemed to happen a few different times in this football game tonight.